Good evening and welcome to PTV News Now. I am Floyd Brenz, here to bring you the latest headlines this Wednesday evening. As we hit the midweek mark, let's cut the chase and take a look at tonight's top stories. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. expressed confidence that his administration remains stable despite alleged attempts on disruption. He emphasized that key sectors of society continue to support his government's programs and advocacies and assured that his administration remains on solid ground in terms of public support. The chief executive acknowledged the dangers of complacency and vowed to be cautious in maintaining unity and support. He also highlighted his willingness to engage in dialogue with individuals or groups expressing grievances, aiming to address their concerns and ensure continued support across all sectors. Meanwhile, the Malacanang stated that the president is not alarmed as he trusts the loyalty of government forces. While China has been stern building its naval force, which is tops on the planet bar none, America's shipbuilding industry has faltered, especially in military watercraft production. Case in point, its fleet of amphibious warfare vessels, which are the alternative go-to ships when naval commanders want more expedient and pinpoint assaults, are missions. VOA's Carla Bob has this award-winning news feature.
When commanders across the globe need more American military power, they often turn to Marine Expeditionary Units, or MEUs. Each unit is a team of about 2,000 Marines and sailors who deploy on amphibious warfare ships. It takes 3 amphibs, 2 small ones and one that looks like a mini aircraft carrier, to make an amphibious ready group, or ARG, which transports the rapid response forces along with thousands more sailors. Once deployed, these Marines and sailors are the military's Swiss Army knife, providing everything from strike power to non-combatant evacuation operations to disaster relief.
Amphibs are vital to us. They're an existential part of who we are as Marines.
General Eric Smith, the top U.S. Marine, tells VOA the military needs 3 of these 3-ship units deployed abroad at all times. 1 unit from the East Coast, 1 from the West Coast, and 1 from Japan, a plan known as 3.0. Can you achieve that with the number of amphibs that you have today?
With the number of amphibs that we have ready today, no. I have the Marines and I have the squadrons and I have the battalions and the batteries to do it. I just don't have the amphibs.
The ship shortage saga, which has steadily worsened since the early 2000s, has divided the Marine Corps and the Navy. While America was busy fighting wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, its amphib fleet, plagued with maintenance deferments and delays, fell into disrepair, says Shelby Oakley with the Government Accountability Office.
You're running these ships to ground, not taking care of them. So this is kind of equivalent to just driving your car and never changing the oil and expecting it to last 15 years. It's just not going to be the case.
In a perfect ship cycle, the Commandant says he needs at least 27 amphibs to continuously deploy 3 of these 3-ship ARG MEUs. 9 amphibs deployed, while 9 are used for training and 9 are in maintenance. But 100% readiness is almost impossible, so the military says it should expect about 80% readiness, meaning about 7 of those ships would be ready to deploy and 7 would be ready for training. 4 extra ships are required to meet the Marines' needs, for a total of 31. The Navy currently has 32 amphibs, so why don't the Marines have enough of them?
Half of its amphibious ships are in poor material condition. Key systems aren't functioning the way they're supposed to.
Your readiness rate is down in the 50 percentile range and it needs to be 80%. Then I would say that's a crisis.
One of the amphibs, the USS Tortuga, hasn't sailed in over a decade. And there are 15 more that the Government Accountability Office says are not on track to make it to the end of their 40-year service lives. Why are so many of these in bad shape?
We're trying to keep an aging force ready and focused on what it needs to do. It's not just amphibious ships, it's really the whole Navy. When I started in the Navy, we had almost 600 ships. Now we've got half that, but we're still doing the same mission.
Acting Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Jim Kilby tells VOA the Navy is trying to tackle the issues dragging down the amphib fleet the same way it fixed the issues grounding its fighter jets a few years ago.
In this chart, if it's green, I am. If it's red, I'm not. The Surface Committee has doubled the number of ships that completed maintenance on time. It's not where I want to be. I want to get better. It is not acceptable to have 50%. We want to get to 80%, and we owe it to the Marine Corps to do that.
Meantime, the Marine Corps says the consequences are stacking up.
The gaps in coverage really have already begun. There was a non-combatant evacuation operation required to get American citizens out of the Sudan when violence was erupting. And because there was no ARGMU presence, the AFRICOM commander was forced to use commercial airlines.
And even when units have deployed, they did not deploy as a full force. The USS America Amphibious Ready Group deployed with 2 ships instead of 3 last year because there wasn't another amphib available. And the USS Boxer Amphibious Ready Group had so many maintenance delays that the Navy had to stagger each ship's deployment last year, all months later than planned. What was supposed to be a 9-month deployment resulted in just 2 months with all 3 ships together.
When the Boxer wasn't there, they couldn't do F-35 operations. They couldn't support an international partner as they had planned.
Who is responsible for all of these things that happened last year?
The Navy is responsible, and we did not meet that in the case of the Boxer.
So will this happen again?
I hope it doesn't, Carla, but I can't guarantee that.
The 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit completed its last patrol aboard the USS America Amphibious Ready Group this month. The next deployment of one of these 3-ship ARGMUs from the East Coast or Japan is still months away. And officials say one likely won't deploy from the West Coast until 2026. A Navy official says the service only budgets deploying one 3-ship amphibious ready group for only 10 months in the year, because according to Kilby, the Marine Corps' 3.0 requirement is not a Navy requirement.
I do not have a plan to get to 3.0. I have a plan to maintain 31 ships per law in our shipbuilding plan.
That plan banks on the Navy keeping 6 of the amphibs in the fleet for several years beyond their expected 40-year service life, including some of those currently in poor condition.
But there's huge questions about whether or not they will even make it to their expected service life.
So how is that plan feasible?
So we have to plan the availabilities to go do the work necessary to get them to a life cycle health assessment above poor.
This is going to take at least a decade to fix.
Yep.
What happens if we find ourselves in a conflict with China and we start losing more ships?
We're going to have a problem. The whole point for having the ARGMU out is to prevent conflict.
Kilby says the Navy wants the problem solved by 2027. The year China's leader Xi Jinping has ordered the military to be prepared to take Taiwan.
We have the Navy we have. That's the Navy we're going to have largely in 2027, and we just need to operate it more efficiently and effectively.
Experts say if Beijing attempts to take Taiwan, it could catapult the U.S. and China into war, while the amphib fleet is struggling to stay afloat. Carla Babb, VOA News, the Pentagon.
So that's a wrap for this evening. Join us tomorrow for another set of major stories breaking at the hour, and always stay connected by catching the news right here. This is Floyd Brands, and thank you for watching PTV News Now.